All right, everybody, it's almost 6 p.m. on Tuesday, February 11th, West Coast time. Today's Daily Hawk is going to be split up into three parts. There was a lot of news today. So let's dive in. Elon Musk's Cybertruck is more deadly and more flammable than the legendary Ford Pinto from the early 70s. If you remember, you remember. Fuel Arc Auto News has the following info on the Cybertruck. 17 times more dangerous and likely to catch fire than the Ford Pinto. Quote, this model is far more dangerous than even the infamously explosive Ford Pinto of the 1970s. So Elon's got that going for him. Donald Trump and everything they're doing it in an incredibly sloppy manner. They are getting shot down by the courts left and right. Remember that one of the first things that he did during the week that he was inaugurated, they took offline multiple websites for the nation's premier health agencies. A judge ordered them to restore those websites today because those websites are relied on by people and professionals for health-related information, science, medical data, research, sharing information, things like that. But Donald Trump, of course, ordered them to be abruptly taken offline to ensure that they complied with his executive order on gender. Yeah. Earlier today, Buddy Carter, Republican representative from the state of Georgia, introduced legislation in the House of Representatives to allow the acquisition or purchase of Greenland and rename it Red, White, and Blue Land. So I feel safe in saying that Representative Buddy Carter, Republican from Georgia, is a moron. Lauren Boebert's office has no comment on Kid Rock. That's right. Lauren Boebert got into a taxi with Kid Rock at 2:30 a.m. on the night of Donald Trump's inauguration. When asked if they would like to comment, Boebert's spokesperson said, I think we'll pass. But, here's hoping. Well, never mind. I'm not going to make that joke. We're trying to stay out of trouble in 2025. Lawyers Group says Donald Trump is attacking the Constitution. Uh-oh, that sounds pretty serious. The American Bar Association said that Donald Trump's actions since taking office are a wide-scale affront to the rule of law itself and the Constitution. Oh no, New York Post is reporting that rumors are swirling of a miserable George Stephanopoulos. George Stephanopoulos is miserable at Good Morning America following the settlement of Donald Trump's defamation suit with ABC News. The whole episode turned out to be emasculating for the host, who has isolated himself even more than usual since the settlement. Pope Francis rebuked Donald Trump over mass deportations, said the Pope. I exhort all the faithful of the Catholic Church and all men and women of goodwill not to give in to narratives that discriminate against and cause unnecessary suffering to our migrant and refugee brothers and sisters. He did not include in that statement anything about inflicting suffering on pale young boys. Steve Bannon today pled guilty to, I knew he was indicted on 3 felonies for his build the wall scheme where they took $25 million from idiot moron rubes who believed that Steve Bannon was going to build the wall along the southern border if only they donated him enough money. He pled guilty in exchange for a sentence that did not include prison time. His 3 co-conspirators are in prison. So there's that. Churches are suing the Trump administration over immigration raids that take place inside churches, as reported by the AP. More than 24 Christian and Jewish groups representing millions of Americans filed a federal lawsuit today challenging the Trump administration because he was like, yeah, have at it. Go arrest people in church. And so they've started doing that. Kash Patel has been accused of directing the recent purge at the FBI. Senator Dick Durbin believes that Kash Patel may have perjured himself. I'm shocked, said Senator Durbin. Kash Patel, if these allegations are true, he may have perjured himself, and he still looks like a bug-eyed possum. I added that last part. The Federal Appeals Court has formally granted the Justice Department's request, this is from CBS News, to drop the cases against Donald Trump's co-defendants in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case, so they're free to go. Donald Trump has already signed, according to Axios, he's already signed more than 75 executive orders, memos, and proclamations during his first 3 weeks. I thought the number was higher than that, but what do I know? J.D. Vance, according to Politico, has gladly embraced his role as an internet troll, saying incredibly shitty things online to people, because that's what you want in a vice president. This is from CNN. Some Republicans are worried that Donald Trump is usurping Congress. I would be surprised if more than 10 members of the Republican Congress caucus know what the word usurp even means. But they're concerned. Their brows are furrowed, and Susan Collins is greatly concerned. This little series of stories I love. Politico is reporting that House GOP leaders are telling people publicly that they're making great progress on putting together this omnibus bill that's going to cover the budget, mass deportations, taxes, and a bunch of other stuff. Turns out that may not be true, including his tax policies and all that crap. Because Republicans in the Senate, the House, Donald Trump told the House, I want one big, beautiful bill. And Mike Johnson was like, one big, beautiful bill. John Thune and Republicans in the Senate are like, that ain't gonna work. We're gonna do 2 bills, and we're gonna pass those bills ourselves, and then we will send them over to the House. We're tired of waiting on you guys because you can't get your shit together in the House. And so Speaker Johnson has said, even if the Senate does that, if the Republican-controlled Senate passes 2 bills that accomplish everything that Donald Trump wants to accomplish, we're not going to bring those bills up because Donald Trump wants them to be in 1 bill. So everything's going great in Congress. Europe is next on the chopping block for our allies that Donald Trump is going to attack with tariffs. He's already plowed through Mexico and Canada, and now it's Europe. Donald Trump, I think today, put a 25% tariff globally on aluminum and steel, which is going to rat fuck Canada disproportionately. And now member countries of the European Union are bracing for tariffs. We'll see what they do. You know, I mean, hey, who hits back harder than the French? Am I right? Egg prices have blown way past all-time record highs. That's weird. I mean, you know, we're over 3 weeks in. Strange. The Justice Department, in an explicitly political move, not based on evidence or anything like evidence or the facts of the case, has dropped their indictments against New York City Mayor Eric Adams for being under illegal foreign influence from other countries and accepting bribes through campaign donations and luxury travel perks. He's corrupt as shit if these allegations are true. He had an hour-long meeting with Trump. He was like, I will let you do whatever you guys want to do in Manhattan and New York City regarding immigration. How about you drop that case against me? And the Justice Department was like, yeah, we'll drop that case against you. Quid pro quo. Donald Trump also last night pardoned former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, also a Democrat, also corrupt as fuck. He served time in prison. Hamas in the Gaza Strip has accused Israel of slow walking or violating the terms of the ceasefire. And they're like, we're not giving you any more hostages. Donald Trump said, unless Hamas releases all of the remaining hostages by noon this coming Saturday, all hell will break loose. And Donald Trump has been giving the Israeli military the biggest bombs that we have. Great. Because all these Palestinians have been going back inside the Gaza Strip to find their homes obliterated. And so I guess now Israel will drop the largest bombs the United States has to offer on refugee camps, as they've been doing for the last year. Cool. Donald Trump has ordered a crackdown on crime inside of Washington, D.C., which has a very predominantly black population. I'm sure race was not a factor in that decision. In an interview with Bret Baier on Fox News last night, he did not endorse J.D. Vance as his successor. There is no end to the emasculation of men who choose to be around or associated with Donald Trump. So this one's in two steps. Donald Trump fired the director of the Office of Government Ethics, D.C. Circuit Judge Amy Berman, ordered that not to be the case and reinstated him to his job. And Donald Trump is appealing that. Donald Trump issued an executive order today taking aim at low-flow toilets. Tweeting, I hereby instruct Secretary Lee Zeldin to immediately go back to my environmental orders, which were terminated by crooked Joe Biden, on water standards and flow pertaining to, all caps, sinks, showers, toilets, washing machines, dishwashers, etc. And likewise go back to common sense standards on, all caps, light bulbs that were put in place by the Trump administration but terminated by crooked Joe. I look forward to signing these orders, all caps. Thank you! He also said, we have a situation where we're looking very strongly at sinks and showers and other elements of bathrooms where you turn the faucet on, and in areas where there's tremendous amounts of water, where the water rushes out to sea because you could never handle it and you don't get any water. Donald Trump has called for FEMA to be terminated, writing, quote, FEMA spent tens of millions of dollars in Democrat areas disobeying orders, but left the people of North Carolina high and dry. That's a lie. It is now under review and investigation. He added in all caps, the Biden-run FEMA has been a disaster. FEMA should be terminated. It has been slow and totally ineffective. Individual states should handle storms, etc. as they come. Big savings, far more efficient. By far the largest recipients of FEMA benefits have been Florida, Louisiana, and Texas, all three of which voted overwhelmingly for Fat Nixon. So we'll close it out with two tweets. Elon Musk and Doge have been inside of FEMA. Elon Musk wrote, the Doge team just discovered that FEMA sent $59 million last week to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal immigrants. Sending this money violated the law and is in gross insubordination to the president's executive order. That money is meant for American disaster relief and instead is being spent on high-end hotels for illegals. A clawback demand will be made today to recoup those funds, posted Elon Musk on X, who has changed his account name to Harry Balls. Not kidding. The Cato Institute's David J. Beer explained what Musk got wrong. Doge didn't discover anything. Congress publicly voted on and appropriated $650 million for FEMA's Shelter and Services Program, and the money is transferred to FEMA from DHS money. The program shouldn't exist, but that's irrelevant. This is a waste of everybody's time. Okie doke. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of the Daily Hawk. I will record 2 more of these later on this evening because, like I said, there's been a shit ton of news today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, please comment, please subscribe to my page. because I want to quit my job. Now, what are you going to do? Thanks, everybody. See you in a bit.